bad. Is this going to work?
I don't know.
We'll
Looks,
see.
it looks good so far.
Yeah, no. I'm surprised.
So let me say right up front, we are on a moving ship, and the internet has been terrible so far. So there's one.
Ooh, and right off the bat.
So if you lose this, we're trying, but the reception is terrible. We paid for the internet package, and I'd really actually like my money back because it's the worst I've ever had on a ship. But it looks
really
like
bad.
it's so far so good, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just carry on and
Roll with the punches.
roll with the punches.
It's pretty
baby.
blurry.
Are we blurry?
I'm watching it on mine, but it may be blurry because we have horrible
Your
service.
double service.
Yeah,
Bad.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Welcome, guys. First John, that's right. So you guys tell us what's been going on.
Second, third, fourth, fifth. I'm going to yawn.
Oh, you got to get comfortable.
So
So
we went to Atlantis today, and
it's a water park
yeah, we're exhausted.
and rode every stupid thing there. And I think probably tomorrow I will not be able to walk. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my head is killing me. I don't think I drink enough water, but I came back and ate a bunch of Redmond salt and drank a lot of water.
Yeah, and some coffee.
But yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, we're having a great time. We've had some great lectures so far. Today was a no lecture day. Tomorrow's a no lecture day, and then there's more lectures.
It looks like I'm naked, but I'm not. That's just the color of my shirt is like the same as my
Oh
skin.
yeah, it looks like you're naked.
Yeah.
Hey Natalie. Hey Jessica.
Did you do Leap of Faith? He did. I did not.
I did Leap of Faith with Robert Sykes
And Danny
and Danny
the
Vega.
baby.
and then little
Desmond.
Danny's son Desmond
Yeah.
Vega. Yep, we
We
all
call
did.
him a baby. He is not a baby. He's 5.
At least you could have done it, but she chickened out.
I didn't chicken out.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Why didn't you do it
I
then?
was tired. And Crystal didn't want to do it, and I didn't want to make her stand by herself.
Good question. Do you use any condiments on carnivore? So I use lots of salt. I use 0 carb mustard.
Yellow mustard.
Just like mustard,
Yeah.
that's just mustard and salt. And that doesn't seem to bother me at all. Some people can't use that, but it works great for me. What else do I use?
Sometimes we use mayo.
Yeah, if we make our own avocado or bacon grease mayo, we'll use that. Sometimes I use Primal Kitchen's mayo, but I don't love it's got a little wang
The
to it.
Chipotle is better than the regular.
Yeah, and that's a pretty darn good mayo, but don't just use mayo from China Mart because it's almost always going to have soybean. That's number 2.
I haven't found, that's like number 8 actually. I haven't found any at Walmart that's are actually made with 100% avocado
Got to be
oil.
very careful. And if you start to make mayo at home regularly, it literally takes 3 minutes and it's twice as tasty. And it lasts for about a week and a half in the fridge.
Let me show you guys the bump because it's really out today.
Yeah, the bump is out.
Yeah, hang on.
Look at that. Oh!
There it is.
Some of that's bacon. And
Some of that's bacon, some of it's berries, and some of it's baby berry. So,
Yep, exactly.
yeah.
What are the condiments? Any other condiments?
That looks way more bigger when I do this, but really it's like from here to here.
One of my favorite things to do is to crack 2 eggs and separate the yolks and then mix the raw egg yolk in with my mustard. Because you cannot tell that the yolk is in the mustard, and it doubles the amount of mustard you're eating, and you're getting a lot of good healthy fat and all the vitamins and minerals in the yolk. So that's actually my standard condiment is a big squirt of mustard and 2 egg yolks blended up really good.
Yeah, so mustard is not carnivore, but a
But
lot
it's
of
okay,
carnivores use it. So.
And I think it's fine to use pepper unless you can tell it bothers you, and then you shouldn't use it. See, some people go to carnivore because it's virtually 0 carbs, so they're doing it for the fat loss. But there are other people out there like Amber O'Hearn and Michaela Peterson and Jordan Peterson who do it for if they eat any vegetable matter at all, their depression comes back, they start to get irritable bowel symptoms. I'm telling you, I wore this girl out today. So it depends on why you're doing carnivore. So if you're doing carnivore for the fat loss, then you can use mustard. I think it's fine. And you can use mayo depending on the ingredients. You can use salt and pepper. And sometimes I'll get ribs with a dry rub as long as I know it's 0 grams of carbohydrates. Hey, Susan. Hey,
What's
Christine.
the name of the fresh bone brought to you by? It's Fond, Fond.
Yep.
Fond. It's out of San Antonio, Texas. Actually, one of our friends now works for Fond. And did you know Jordan got hired?
Oh, you told me. Yeah.
So, they make it fresh. It's shipped in mason jars, glass mason jars, and you need to either freeze it or use it pretty quickly
Immediately,
because
yeah.
it's very...
It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the collagen and the gel, and it's supposed to be amazing. And they have flavors, so you can make soups and stews and like whatever. It's got they've got rosemary and really cool stuff. So yeah.
Do you miss Toto and Brett Butler?
Yes, I miss my pup babies. Oh, they're gonna literally pee all over the place when we get home.
I'm sure they think we're dead.
Yeah. Poor pups. We'll be gone
Wendy.
2 total weeks.
Yeah.
That's the longest we've
the
ever been
longest
away
we've
from
ever
them.
been gone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
Look at this
Thank
hair.
you, Christine.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? That
crazy.
hair's a mess. Oh, you're going for a record tonight.
Can't help it. Okay. Let me
We're excited you could join us, Sandra.
see. Fresh air makes you sleepy. That and the sun and the water.
Somebody asked about lipotropic injections. For some people, the lipotropic injections, their build is either energy injections or fat loss injections. I used to give them in the clinic, and I offered them.
We still offer them.
Yeah, I never
though.
pushed them, but I would offer them. And for some people, they would really give them a burst of energy. And I don't know exactly why. I don't know if they were low in B vitamins and that helped them. But then some few women said that it helped their libido, and their husband would give them their copay to go get their shot once a week. Other people felt like it really helped to mobilize fat stored in the belly. The Wi-Fi's great.
I know,
don't know
don't
what the
jinx
heck.
it.
Like you can't even scroll Instagram on this Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
but
don't
Facebook
jinx it.
Live is working great. This is working so great.
He does that on purpose to trigger me.
I do. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Hello, Karen from Cambodia.
Hey, Candace. Hey, Julie.
Hang on. Behind my hands are often very cold. What can it be?
Iodine. You need some iodine. Get the Lugol's 2% solution. You can buy it on Amazon, and use 1 or 2 drops in your coffee or some liquid you drink each day, or you can even put it in something you're cooking because it won't evaporate. It's an element. Don't jinx it. I know. I made Lori nervous too.
I know.
Hey, Michelle.
He's horrible. What is the safest way to get off of statins?
Hey, Kathy, just stop taking them. You don't have to wean down a statin. You don't have to play any reindeer games. You can just take the bottle and hold it like this and then throw it in the garbage. That's all you have to do.
Stacy says, can you please one more time address the fear about gluconeogenesis on carnivore?
Yeah. So if you're eating a high carbohydrate diet and you eat a lot of protein, then the protein may stimulate some gluconeogenesis, which is, that's what we call it when your liver actually makes glucose. Now, the first thing you have to understand is that gluconeogenesis is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because certain cells in your body, like every one of your red blood cells, they don't have mitochondria. And so they have to have glucose for energy or they'll die. And so you want gluconeogenesis to be happening to some degree, but you don't want it to be overproducing. And so if you're eating a low carbohydrate diet, 20 total grams a day or less, you can eat all the protein you want and it's not going to stimulate gluconeogenesis in a bad way. And if you want to watch a great YouTube video about this, Dr. Ben Bikman, Bikman, has the best video about this on YouTube. Just search for Dr. Bikman gluconeogenesis and you'll find it.
Okay, Kara. She says, I did a 48-hour fast. I've had no weight loss. I'm going crazy with this weight gain. I'm taking 30 milligrams of Armour. Please help. Is that just you? How long have you not had weight loss, though?
Yeah, and how long have you been keto? And how many?
Well, she's been keto for a while. She's been in here a long time.
How many total grams of carbohydrates are you eating a day? And have you went back and looked for carbs that have creeped into your diet that you didn't realize you were eating? And have you tried a month of carnivore? Because those are the things that I would ask you.
And are you measuring?
Is your brain starved for oxygen?
Yeah. And are you measuring, or are you just getting on the scales because
Yeah, exactly.
that matters?
Yeah, measure once a week because sometimes the scale won't move.
bacon grease bothers my stomach when I use it to cook. Oh, the horror.
That's terrible.
Oh, no, that's not good.
You may have to use chicken fat or duck fat or beef tallow.
Yeah.
But that's terrible. Oh.
Have you met any new to you and interesting people on the cruise? No.
I met.
Lauren. Keto Coach Lauren.
Yep, we met Keto Coach Lauren and hung out with her. I think she's mainly on Instagram, but I think she does have a Facebook page.
She has a blog too.
And she has a blog, and she does a lot of that. And she's a keto coach. And we say most people don't need a coach, but some people need a coach.
Some people really like it.
Some people like having that accountability, and so Keto Coach Lauren, that's one of the services she offers, and she does that remotely.
She does a lot of fitness stuff too, so if anybody's interested in getting fit,
yep.
She does that kind of stuff.
Her story is really amazing.
Yeah. New study dominating the news today: white meat is as bad as red. Well, we know neither are bad, so
yeah.
Okay.
Eat your meat.
Julie says keto will fix everything. Endometriosis? ? Eat bacon. Sounds legit. It is legit.
It is legit. Yeah. All those things are caused by chronically high levels of insulin and chronically high levels of inflammation and immune system irritation. And keto gets rid of all those things. Yep.
Okay, Kara says, my pants are tight, been keto for 3+ years, tried carnivore, put 7 pounds on in January, no weight loss since then.
Yeah. So you need to go back on carnivore, and it needs to be strict fatty meat carnivore. And if you're still gaining weight on that,
you need to get your labs done.
You need to go get all your labs checked because something's wrong. Because human beings don't work like that unless you've got a thyroid issue or an adrenal issue or another hormonal issue.
Or are you under some stress? Has there been a lot of change in your life? And that kind of thing can make you keep putting on weight or maintain weight and stall
but
out.
if you're eating
whatever.
keto and gaining weight, you either got carbs in there that you're not aware of, or you think that the carbs in salad don't count, which is completely untrue. The carbs in salad count. The carbs in all vegetables count. You have to count those carbohydrates towards your total count for the day.
How often do we take keto shot electrolytes?
I put a capful in every cup of coffee I drink. So
or
that's,
water, whatever beverage.
Yeah, it's somewhere between, I use probably 2 to 4 capfuls a day. These are just electrolytes that your body knows what to do with. If you were to just use the whole bottle, your kidneys would just excrete that. You would pee that out.
There's directions on the bottle
Yeah,
too.
they have directions.
Thoughts on berberine if you aren't diabetic but having no weight loss on keto? If you're not having weight loss on keto, that's...
Berberine's not going to help you with the weight loss, probably. Berberine will lower your blood sugar if you're still eating too many carbohydrates, but that's the problem. You're eating too many carbohydrates.
My best friend just told me she's having gastric bypass in July. She refuses to hear anything about keto. It makes me sad.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Very sad.
Very sad.
But, what's really sad is that someone thinks that going under the knife like that isn't that serious.
Yeah, that's a very serious operation. And
that they would choose that over just changing what they eat.
Some of the complications are severe, including death. But I mean, I know you know that. That's why you're sad. But a lot of people just think, oh, no, it's magic and everything will be fixed. They very often have lifetime electrolyte, vitamin, and mineral problems. And so, yeah, that is the very last ditch if nothing else works. Somebody asked if you can have too much iodine, and the answer is probably. But and you'll hear people out on the internet say, "Oh, iodine's very dangerous. You shouldn't do anything with that." But the average person who lives in Japan eats from 14 to 16 milligrams, not micrograms, but milligrams of iodine every day because they eat tons of seafood, right? And so, as long as you're getting under 15 milligrams a day, then you're not getting as much as the average citizen of Japan. But if you're taking 1 or 2 drops of Lugol's 2% solution a day, you're getting 2 milligrams. And that's never going to be too much for any human.
I'm going to be so dead. I may not even get up to pee 17 times tonight. I'll be so tired. Somebody said, I know this isn't keto, but what face tanner do you use? I use St. Tropez. It's made specifically for the face. It's in a little spray bottle. You can get it at Sephora.
And I just go out and work on the farm.
And this is
that's my
natural
face
tan.
tan.
But I do use it because I don't get as much sun on my face. I'll usually wear a hat or a visor to keep my face from getting burned. So then I'll get like tan from here down. So they'll put the self tanner on my face.
Oh, wow. Kelly's A1C is 5.0. That is very, very exciting. Good job, Kelly.
Diana says, I started carnivore 2 weeks ago and I feel much better and can go longer between 2 meals. It's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Richard, I don't need to lose no more weight. I'm on keto 1 year now.
Okay, so keep eating keto because keto's not a weight loss diet, it's a weight optimization diet. And when you reach your ideal body weight, you'll stop losing weight. Your body's not dumb. It's going to not let you lose down until you're a skeleton. The problem is that in the United States especially, we're not used to seeing normal sized humans anymore. And so when you get down to your ideal body weight, you look scary skinny to the average person because they've never seen anyone that skinny before. But if you go to Greece or Italy, everybody is that skinny. That's the normal size over there, and it's very rare to see an overweight person over there, although it exists. But yeah, that's part of the problem is just the social expectation that if you're skinny like that, either something's wrong with you or you're smoking something you shouldn't be, but that is a normal human body size.
How do you know when you're no longer insulin resistant?
Well, now that's a great question. What you're trying to reverse and correct is hyperinsulinemia. I'm still insulin resistant. If I went upstairs and had a big piece of pie or a cake, my blood sugar would shoot up immediately. So I always am going to have that insulin resistance. You might make it less severe, but you're not ever. That's just something. That's who you are.
That's your DNA.
Yeah, that's partly your DNA. And so what you're going to do is correct the hyperinsulinemia and the hyperglucosemia because those are the things that cause the damage. But anytime you go back and eat a ton of stupid carbs, you're going to spike your blood sugar and spike your insulin. That's always going to happen.
Oh, I saw a good one. Oh, okay. Christine says, I have Graves and Hashimoto's. Endo says, no iodine. I crave and will eat shrimp and oysters, etc. Thoughts?
Yeah. So if you have Graves' disease, this is about the only time that I'll say hold off on the supplement. You can still eat all the seafood you can hold because that is completely natural, bioidentical, bioavailable iodine. And so, yeah, you can eat your
is it processed differently than if you're supplementing?
Probably not. But, I mean, who's going to yell at you for eating seafood? You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, I died from eating seafood because But now, if you have hyperthyroidism or Graves' disease, until your endocrinologist has that under control, don't use the Lugol's. But if you have a normal thyroid, if you have Hashimoto's, or if you have hypothyroidism, you can use the iodine just fine.
I just wonder, do you feel better after you eat the shellfish and oysters? Because if you do,
yeah.
then that...
Because the problem is even somebody with
okay.
hyperthyroidism still needs iodine. And iodine is very important for thyroid function, but every cell in your body needs iodine, not just your thyroid cells. And a lot of endos forget that your breast tissue needs iodine. Your adrenal glands, your pancreas, your ovaries, and your testicles, they all need iodine and they concentrate it. It's not just about your thyroid.
You should speak about eVisit because we haven't talked about it.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys, I have canceled my contract with eVisit. And so I'm looking for another platform that will work because eVisit just was not working out at all. And as soon as I found one and signed a contract with them, I'll put that in the group immediately. So if you want to do an eVisit with me and talk face to face, we can.
I feel like I have more hair than normal. Like, that's a lot.
That's a lot of hair.
Okay.
Did you see that?
My
HS
is worse after 19 months on keto. Any thoughts?
Yeah, and so what that tells me is there's still a vegetable that you're eating that's continuing the flare up. Eating processed crap is definitely going to make it worse, but you've still got some vegetables, and it may. I'm not saying it's all vegetables, but there's some vegetable that's still flaring you up, and you're going to have to start stopping one for a month, stop the next one for a month until you figure out which vegetable it is. If you can't figure it out, then try carnivore for a month. And I've yet to have a person on social media say that their HS didn't go completely away. And I'm not saying it's cured, it's just you have no symptoms as long as you're carnivore. but hopefully you can just figure out which vegetable it is and get that out of your diet. The first thing I would try if you're still eating them is nightshades, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants.
Catherine says, I'm primarily carnivore. How can I lose lean mass on a DEXA scan? Doc says, eat carbs and that would fix it.
Why do you want to
Don't
lose lean mass?
That's not,
muscle and bone.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose that.
You want to lose fat.
Yeah. No, you don't want to lose lean mass.
Who said lean mass was bad?
Lean mass is good.
I'm confused. Explain. If you can explain. I would like to know. Deb says she's down to zucchini
and mushrooms. It's probably the zucchini. Yeah.
It's probably
because
I
it's
wouldn't
got
say it was
seeds.
mushrooms.
Yeah. I doubt it's mushrooms.
Sarah says I've been taking iodine for 2 months, and now when I take it, I feel flushed and red. Should I continue to take it?
Go down a drop a day, and just if you're using 2, use 1. And if you're using 1, you do 1 every other day, because that means you've saturated. You've got enough now. You're not at a deficit anymore, and so you just need to use a little bit.
Oh, she says she did lose lean mass. How does she not lose? I guess.
If you want to keep your muscle, you got to lift weights.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your bone density stronger, you got to lift weights.
Gotcha.
And when I say lift weights, I don't mean go to the gym and do the bench press.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 different ways. What Nisha just did is lifting weights when she picked herself up like that. Mm-hmm. You can do chair raises.
Nurse Cindy talks a lot about it because she's 62, so she doesn't do the kind of lifting weights that Dr. Berry or the Savages and all of them. She does mostly stuff that uses her own body weight, but that still counts.
Yep, absolutely counts. Anytime you're moving your body weight, that's putting stress on your bones and your muscles, and that makes them both stronger and more dense.
And maybe increase your protein intake.
Make sure you're getting enough protein.
Rosie says, I'm celebrating as of this morning now under 200 pounds, keto for the last 4 months, down from 235.
Welcome to the 100 Club.
Do you believe...
Nisha's going to be lifting her baby, that's right.
Molly says, do you believe supplements are required during pregnancy? For most women, because you're not able to eat a complete proper diet. Unless you are doing what Keto Connect is doing and measuring your food every single day and making sure you're getting the daily allowance of folate and iron and calcium and D and all of that stuff, which most normal people are not going to do, then yes.
Yeah.
You need a prenatal and folate at least.
Right. And if you're able to eat a fatty meat keto, then you're going to get everything you need. But the problem is a lot of women, that first trimester, they have food aversions, and there's certain very healthy foods that they're just having aversion to. They can't eat it. And so in that case, you probably need a supplement. But any young girl or young woman who's eating crap, they need a supplement. Even though some of the stuff we know very well that many of the vitamins and minerals in a supplement are they're not manufactured properly, and they're not absorbed hardly at all. But still, it's better than nothing.
It's better than not taking a supplement and eating cheeseburgers and ice cream. But
Yeah.
most women are not going to do the work. And I don't think Megan did the work. I think that Matt did everything and weighed everything. Because when you're pregnant, you're like, I don't want to do anything. But get a high quality prenatal vitamin. Take your folate, not folic acid, folate, and vitamin D3 and DHA, that kind of stuff that's important.
Yep.
And if you can, eat a lot of liver too.
Yeah, liver is magic for pregnant
liver
women.
and fish and
sardines,
good cheese, sardines, that
absolutely.
kind of stuff. Will eating carnivore help the skin not get loose while losing the weight?
What's going to do that is the intermittent fasting that comes along with eating a fatty meat keto or a carnivore diet. When you're fasting for 18 or 20 hours every day and then eating your 1 or 2 big fatty meat keto or carnivore meals, that autophagy, which is your body reprocessing cells that you don't need, and that floppy skin's not serving you any purpose, and your body knows that. And so when you fast, your body's going to use that tissue before it's not going to burn your muscles in your brain and your eyeballs. It's going to burn floppy skin. It's going to burn up precancers. It's going to use those cells to make new and healthy cells.
No, you will not lose lean mass if you lift weights.
Not necessarily. But as you get older, Christine, yes, as we all get older, we lose a certain % of lean mass every year. And that's why more and more we're telling people exercise is not going to help you lose weight, but you need to do some kind of weight-bearing exercise to keep your bones and muscles strong. because like Nisha's grandmother, for example, lovely lady, God rest her, she was still pretty active, but she was super thin and
She had osteoporosis.
had no muscle at all. Her bone density was terrible, but she was still at home. She was still, scooting around, going to church. Fell and broke a hip. That was it.
Well, really, her osteoporosis was so bad she broke her hip and then fell.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so bone density is hugely important as you get older. So after the age of 40, really, you need to start thinking about that and trying to keep your muscles and bones strong. And if you don't have the muscle strength, like Cindy says, if you can't get up out of a chair without using your hands, that is a huge risk factor for a fall. And when you fall, if you got low bone density, you're going to break a bone. And when an older person breaks a bone, the 5-year risk of them dying after that is super high. And so you don't want to be breaking bones. You don't want to be falling. And the way to prevent both of those is to do some kind of weight-bearing exercise.
That's especially important if you're a petite white
Oh
female.
gosh, yeah.
You're
Skinny
at
white
the
women are the
highest
worst.
risk for osteoporosis and bone breaks and all of that good stuff.
And then if any of you guys still smoke, which I hope you don't, that's a huge risk factor for making your bones brittle.
Molly asks, how much vitamin D and folate do you recommend in pregnancy? You need to get at least 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 every single day.
Yep.
Anything less than that is just not enough.
Yep.
Folate, I take 800 MCGs. Is it MCGs?
It's micrograms.
Yeah. That's what you need, really.
Yep.
That's what my OBGYN
Hey, Claudia.
told me, and that's what all the research says is the optimum level for folate.
And a lot of OBGYNs won't recommend the vitamin D, but that's a big deal. And then also the iodine. You can actually, there's studies in Europe that actually show you can increase your baby's IQ by making sure you get plenty of iodine while you're pregnant. And that can be from seafood or that can be from the Lugol's drops.
Is it normal to gain weight after having tea pellets? That's Mark.
That's Mark. Hey, Mark. For some people, if you get your testosterone up much above 1,000, you'll start to hold a little extra fluid, and that could be the weight gain. Also, when you get your testosterone corrected, you'll tend to put on more muscle without really trying. That could also lead to a change on the scale. If I were you, I would take my measurements. Hopefully you've taken them in the past. I think you have. And then you can compare, and then are you actually gaining fat, or are you gaining muscle, or are you holding fluid? And if you're putting on muscle, then congratulations, brother, because, me and you big men, we need to have some muscle. But if it's fluid, then talk to your doc about that. Maybe next time don't get as much testosterone replaced. And if it shouldn't be fat. Really, testosterone, it usually raises your HCG and your human growth hormone, not your HCG, but your HGH. And that'll tend to help you put on muscle and burn fat.
Yeah, HCG would not be.
No, not HCG.
Susan wants to know, where do you get vitamin C? I don't know what to tell my mom. It doesn't matter.
Well, the thing is, as you eat lower and lower carbohydrates, you don't need as much vitamin C. Now, if your mom's still eating a very high carbohydrate diet, she probably needs to take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day because she needs that antioxidant because of all the oxidation that's happening because of her crappy diet. But if she's eating keto under 20 grams a day, she's going to get some vitamin C from the little berries and from the veg. But the thing is, when there are carnivores who have been eating nothing but meat for 15, 20 years, and none of them have developed scurvy. There's actually a tiny amount of vitamin C in fresh meat, and there's quite a bit of vitamin C in liver. And then remember, you're eating nothing but meat, so you're not having all the oxidation caused by the carbohydrates. You just don't need as much vitamin C is what it looks like.
Who decided that we were going to push vitamin C and calcium so much? Like, we see that on all the food, but it's fortified with vitamin C, it's fortified with calcium, and really those are like one of the least important things that you need to supplement with. Like, it's more, vitamin D3 is much more important than calcium, because if you don't have it, then it doesn't matter how much calcium you have, your bones don't absorb it.
Right, and we're all taught that vitamin C will keep you from getting a cold, but it's actually vitamin D that helps you with your immune system. Vitamin C got really popular back when a guy named Dr. Linus Pauling wrote a book, and he recommended super high doses of vitamin C. And the thing was, Linus Pauling had won not one Nobel Prize, He had won 2 Nobel Prizes. They were not in medicine and they were not in nutrition. But obviously, if some dude's won 2 Nobel Prizes, he's pretty damn smart, right? And he was a scientist, but he was not an MD or a nutritionist. But he just thought that eating lots of vitamin C was good for you. And if you're eating 200, 300, 400 grams of carbohydrates a day, it may very well be. And I read that book when I was really young and thought, man, that's interesting. I've never heard anything about that. But that's about the time that vitamin C started becoming very popular. And then also the orange juice companies, they get to crow about how much vitamin C is in their orange juice, but they don't talk much about how many carbohydrates are in there.
Amy says, how can an older woman increase bone density? Weight-bearing exercise,
Yep.
any supplements?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
worried.
a great question. I want you to go and watch my YouTube video about osteoporosis.
You have one?
Yeah, I go through every single thing that makes it better and everything that makes it worse. And
Does coffee,
Nope.
they keep, because they say
yeah,
that
there's
a
no
lot.
research. I looked at coffee because, like I say all the time, doctors have been trying to prove that coffee's bad for you for 100 years.
I know, it just kind of, you just have this visual, because you see the eggs put in Coca-Cola,
Right,
and all that. So
Now,
you have
Coca-Cola has phosphoric acid. That's not good for your bones. Yeah, and so if you're drinking a ton of Diet Coke, I'd probably stop that. Smoking is the worst thing that you can just do on a daily basis for your bones.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking and sitting around. Those are the 2 things that will give you osteoporosis the quickest. But go watch my YouTube video because I go deep into that subject. And after you watch that, you'll understand exactly what you need to do.
Oh, okay. Krista says, help, I was on an antibiotic last week. I take a good multi-strain probiotic, but I am having horrible digestive issues.
You're going to have that for a while. I would double up on that probiotic, and I would really shift to eating much more fatty red meat in my diet for a week or 2. And then when the symptoms start to resolve, then you can start adding some veg back in.
Yeah, make sure your probiotic is a
Yeah.
good one, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
don't just get
could
it from China Mart.
Well, she said it was a good one. So I
Okay,
guess it was.
yeah, that's good.
What about any, like, the fermented stuff?
Yeah, you can try some, like homemade yogurt or homemade kefir or anything that's fermented like that. Bubby's has a sauerkraut that is actually fermented and not just they poured vinegar and sugar on the kraut. Yeah, Baby Berry is sleepy, both of them.
What other stops do you have on the cruise?
Tomorrow we're going to Coco Key.
Not Coco K, which I've been saying.
Yeah.
but-
C-A-Y is pronounced keep down here. We did not know that.
It's a island that Royal Caribbean owns, so it's not like an actual destination.
Yeah.
But that's our last stop, isn't it? Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we go back to Jersey,
Back to New Jersey.
and then we get on a plane, go home.
And go home finally and see Rhett Butler Berry and Toto Berry.
Oh,
And all the Berry girls.
I can't wait for them. They're gonna snuggle me like
Yeah.
this. They're gonna be like, "Mom's home." I can't wait.
They won't get out of your lap for a week.
That's good. I don't want them to.
Yeah, if you'll Google Dr. Berry, go to YouTube and just search for Dr. Berry osteoporosis. That should find that video.
Oh gosh. Okay, this has been asked a few times, but I have a video with Kim on my Facebook page about hair loss. If you want to go dig around for it.
Yep.
We talk about all kinds of different reasons why you may be losing hair, how to fix it, all that. The thing is, women are weird.
Yeah.
We lose hair for multiple reasons, and it could be caused by stress, hormones, change in lifestyle, but it's usually temporary, and supplements aren't really that important, but eating protein is. So if you think you're losing hair because of keto, I would suggest increasing protein.
Eat more meat.
Eat more meat.
Yep.
It's probably temporary. Try not to stress out about it, and also realize that it takes at least 3 months for hair to even change back to the way that it is.
Hair
Maybe
grows
even
about that
longer.
much in 3 months, and so
Yeah.
you could be growing the most glorious head of hair you've ever had right now, and you wouldn't know it yet because it just has a chance to get long enough.
Right.
You got to remember that all humans, men and women, as we get older, our hair thins. That's a normal part of aging. It doesn't look like anything will completely stop that. But I've seen no indication that keto causes hair loss unless you're portion controlling your diet, and what you're doing is you're basically still doing the semi-starvation model of fat loss.
Caloric restriction.
Yeah,
crap.
stop that.
Yeah.
Eat fatty meat until you are comfortably full, and stop portion sizing your meat. Eat as much as you want. Eat if you want more. If you're still hungry, eat more meat.
Amanda says, my husband has high blood pressure, 190s over 120s, and does not want to do keto diet. If I can convince him to change one thing, what should I focus on?
There's no one thing. He needs to stop eating crap. And so until he does that, he needs to take his blood pressure medicine. But yeah, and so the first three things I would say is to get all sugar out of his diet if he's willing to do that. The second thing is to get all the grains out of his diet if he's willing to do that. And the third thing is to make sure there are no seed oils in his diet if he'll do that.
Some people are asking about bruising after keto.
So when you lose weight, most of the weight you lose is in the middle, right? But you also lose some weight in your arms and stuff, and in your thighs. As we get older, our skin gets thinner. That's just part of the natural aging process. But when you lose weight, your skin gets thinner still because you've lost the fat that was underneath it. So you don't have as much cushion, and your skin is getting slightly thinner as you get older. So you'll tend to see bruises. We were making the bruises before, but you couldn't see them as well because your skin was thicker with fat underneath it. Also, a lot of times, if your testosterone is low, both in men and in women, your skin will get thin enough that you can start having very easy bruising, and by getting your testosterone corrected, that'll just stop happening.
I'm dying.
You're dying?
We'll just do one more question.
Yeah.
And
What
then
about
I've got to go
what
now.
about carnivore and fiber?
That's
That's a
the one I was gonna
great
go with.
question, Sally Marie. So fiber, we've all been taught that fiber is absolutely mandatory. You will explode and die if you don't eat fiber. You'll get constipated and just fill up with shit and die. Actually, none of the research shows that.
I just heard what you said.
This is the time delay on You're So Tired.
Yeah.
But there are carnivores who have been eating only animal products, which contain zero fiber, for 20 years, and they have normal bowel movements. I've been eating carnivore for over a year now. My bowel movements are better than they've ever been. You don't need fiber to poop. Fiber does not protect you from colon cancer. Fiber does not protect you from diverticulitis. Fiber is a myth. And there's a great YouTube video you can watch that will explain it in detail. It's by Dr. Paul Mason, Mason. And if you'll go to YouTube and search Dr. Paul Mason fiber, you'll find it. It's about an hour long, and he goes into all the science and the studies. And after that, you'll never worry about fiber again. All right, guys. Nisha's had it. She loves it, but she's had it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, guys. We were so busy today. Neither of us posted on anything all day long.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I haven't posted anything until we got back on the boat. I finally did.
Yeah. And so we'll be back in lecture day after tomorrow, and then we'll be sharing some more stuff with you guys. And I'm going to put this...
No lecture tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah, day after tomorrow.
I'm going to put this baby mama to bed. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you so much for supporting us and helping us to spread this message to the whole world. Yeah, we love you. See you next time.